In an apocalyptic world overrun by the undead, we bring you the last news broadcast known to this grim, dying world. We report the news to prepare you for your inevitably painful demise. Will we survive another day, or will the human race end with this broadcast? This is Catching Z's, hosted by Chance Dangers. Whoa. That intro is so depressing. Let's do something more lively. That's better. Isn't that much more cheerful? You're all probably still going to die though. But it's not the end of the world. Oh wait, it is. But at least we got a more cheerful intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Catching Z, the news broadcast of the Derminus Militia, where we report the truth to uphold the foundation of our powerful administration led by the brave General Bonner. I am your host, Chance Dangers, the proud voice of the Derminus Militia. Don't forget to respect our military by supporting this podcast. Click on the like button and leave a comment. Your patriotism is much appreciated. It has been a month since the Derminus Militia took its rightful place as leaders of our community. Everything has been quite orderly. General Bonner wasted no time in putting several new laws into effect. These laws have been dubbed the Bill of Righteousness. Rule 1. Our government needn't be burdened with every little dispute, so all citizens have the right to initiate a first blood duel in order to resolve disputes. In this world, only the strongest deserve to survive. Winner of said duel wins the dispute. Rule 2, known as the Anti-Snowflake Law, states that an individual is not allowed to refuse a blood duel. This is designed to ensure that the strong survive. Rule 3, no bicycle rider shall remove either hand from the handlebars in order to attempt fancy tricks. You are to take your bike riding seriously at all times. Rule 4, men must shave their heads at least once a week. Failure to do so will result in immediate imprisonment. Rule 5, men and women are allowed to go topless due to lack of clothing. The Derminus Militia has placed weapons and food as a higher priority over clothing. Rule 6, adultery is now punishable by death. Adultery also includes gawking at another individual. 10 of our fair citizens have already been executed to enforce this new law, which is no surprise since people are walking around completely naked. Rule 7, no walking on grass, ever, is prohibited unless you're mowing it, which is ridiculous because there is no grass anywhere in Derminus. In short, Derminus is now a nudist colony where no fun of any kind is allowed. Married individuals pretty much walk through the streets with their eyes closed in order to keep from gawking at others. Anyway, I better not rant anymore because I'm already getting a stern look from man pointing a gun at my head. Let's just get on with the news. Former Governor Harry Dumas was sentenced to death after being removed from office. This is a bold move by the newly appointed leader of Derminus. He will have a lot of angry citizens over the execution of a man who was elected to his governorship. Okay, there would be exactly one angry citizen because Harry Dumas only got one vote. I don't know who this man or woman is, but I urge you to keep your ties with Harry Dumas secret, lest you face the backlash of the Derminus Militia. I don't normally do this, but let me give a heartfelt plea to our new leader. General Bonner, please don't brutally murder our former governor. We don't need to lose any more of our people. There have been so many deaths that another one seems pointless. If you have one smidgen of humanity left in you, please don't kill Harry Dumas. I have just been informed that I must go off the air for a few seconds. I'm so damn stressed that I don't give a crap at this point. I'll be back when the heck ever. This is Chance Dangers, and having been given an effective motivational speech by a man pointing a gun at my head, I now, in fact, give a crap. Let's move on with the news. The Derminus Militia went on another supply run today. It was the first supply run since the attack on our fair town. With the majority of the militia being forced to remain in Derminus in order to enforce martial law and to protect us from another attack, only 5 men were sent out into the deadly world to scavenge whatever supplies they could. When standing guard outside of a small pharmacy, one of the militiamen reportedly saw a limo creep up at the intersection. The window slowly crept down, his heart pounding at the sheer shock of such a strange sight. An older gentleman's face was revealed from behind the immaculate door. The militiaman raised his gun in anticipation of what might come next. The man didn't even seem to notice the gun. All he said was, "Pardon me, would you happen to have any Grey Poupon?" He then rolled up the window as the limo pulled away. It was in that moment when the militiaman realized he should not have had those mushrooms for breakfast. The Derminus Militia would like to remind you that they are still looking for volunteers. Would you like to join the Derminus Militia? Would you like to hunt flesh bags? By becoming a Patreon, you don't get to do any of that stuff. But you do get to become an honorary member of Derminus, gain access to an exclusive Catching Z newsletter, and a whole lot more. Visit patreon.com/CatchingZ. The link is in the description. Welcome back, dear listeners. In recent news, my dear friend Amy got crushed by a pile of books. The Derminus Militia has since labeled the incident as human error, quoting that she only has her shelf to blame. Moving on. Breaking news. In a stunning move in office, General Bonner has approved the use of biological weapons against Strangetown. According to the general, this was a tough decision to make. Not because he gives a crap about the lives of people living in Strangetown. It was a tough decision because we have no access to agents required to actually make biological weapons. So let me get this straight. While the use of biological weapons has been approved, we have no way to actually produce such weapons. Sounds like typical Derminus Militia logic to me. They are not very bright. Point proven, as man pointing a gun at my head has just given me a thumbs up. Hey, thumbs up to you, buddy. In another boneheaded move, the Derminus Militia pointed a subway sign towards Strangetown, hoping that the words "Eat Fresh" would lead flesh bags away from Derminus and towards Strangetown. So far, it doesn't seem to be having any effect. Are you freaking kidding me? These damn creatures don't have enough intelligence to wipe their butts. They just walk around crapping all over the place. Do you really think they can read? This is yet another, amazingly bold move. Way to go. Happy now? Hello, dear listeners. This is a pre-recorded secret segment. I have just learned of a new deadly weapon devised by the Derminus Militia. They have been trying to keep it secret, but they can keep nothing secret from this top-notch news broadcaster. During a supply run, the Derminus Militia managed to produce a rather large UPS truck. So General Bonner's new idea is actually quite devious. Let me just walk you through what I saw. The large truck was parked just outside of the Derminus walls. By the time I arrived to spy on the current situation, several red shirts were already hard at work. They were reminiscent of rodeo clowns, except their job seemed to be to antagonize the flesh bags. It didn't take long for me to see exactly what they were doing as a rather large horde followed closely behind the group of red shirts. They lured them all into the back of the UPS truck and escaped through the top, quickly moving around and closing it off. Long story short, General Bonner is creating a weapon of mass destruction. I can only guess that they are planning to retaliate against Strangetown sometime in the future. This just in, a dyslexic devil worshipper sold his soul to Santa. He has since been appointed into a prominent position within the Derminus Militia for showing initiative. Way to go, Jesus Carpenter. Grandma Baker has made the news once again. While on patrol, she accidentally shot one of her associates. This comes just one day after another accidental shooting took place near the same location. In fact, I overheard Grandma Baker talking about the incident that same morning. She made fun of the gentleman for shooting his friends while calling him really, really nasty names. It's ironic that she then repeated the same mistake. The genius was on the trail of some scavengers from Strangetown who were out looking for supplies. Grandma Baker and her associate took cover behind a small shed when the gun, quote-unquote, accidentally went off. Unfortunately, it was pointed right at the head of her associate. His brains decorated the side of the shed. Fortunately for Grandma Baker, she scared the crap out of those folks from Strangetown. All they could do was scream and run away. "Crazy Grandma's got a gun," they shouted. Grandma Baker does not seem the least bit fazed by the incident, saying that death is a normal part of life, especially in the world we live in now. The next story is a bit of a stinky situation for everyone involved. As you all know, the Derminus jail is comprised of only a few rooms, so it's not very pleasant at times. Brian Gruger, a man arrested for fluctuating in public, yes, that's a thing now, found that his issue followed him into jail. He proceeded to crop dust everyone in the cell. Several screams and many suicide attempts later, he was pulled from the cell and charged with assault. Brian Gruger has not been heard from again. This next story expresses just how stupid some people are. I thought about not even reporting this, but what the hell. Daniel Clifford has two major dilemmas in his life. He still believes flesh bags are imaginary, and he has to live life having two first names. I'm not sure which is worse. He invited me to join him in testing his theory and to prove that flesh bags are not real. Being the dedicated proprietor of news that I am, of course, I accepted his invitation. It didn't take long for us to encounter a half-crippled, gnarling beast after leaving the somewhat safe Derminus walls. "See, that's not real," he told me matter-of-factly as he pointed at the creature staggering towards us. "Looks pretty real to me." "Nope, it's fake." Apparently, his theory was that if you call something fake, then it must be fake. Makes sense, right? After all, lots of people in other worlds do this, so it must be true. Maybe that's how they have avoided the flesh bag epidemic. "Oh my God," were the next 3 words out of my mouth, as the fake creature took down Danny Clifford, ripping into his stomach. "I don't know what went wrong. I called it fake, so how in the heck is it still eating me?" Upon careful examination of this science project gone horribly wrong, I could only come to the conclusion that reality as we know it doesn't give a crap whether or not you acknowledge it as real or fake. It's going to eat you anyway. Still, he protested as his intestines were being chewed. Maybe I just didn't declare it loud enough. I just can't understand why it was able to do this. It makes no sense. It's like waking up one morning to the realization that the earth isn't flat. It's just impossible. That was the moment when I stopped caring. At first, I felt a little bit sorry for this idiot as his body was being violated for its delicious meat. But he's a flat earther. This man got exactly what he deserved. I got the heck out of there. This is Chance Dangers, living dangerously, one day at a time. You too can live dangerously by getting your own official Catching Z t-shirt by visiting shop.spreadshirt.com/Catching Z. Okay, well, it's not quite living dangerously, but close enough. Breaking news. This just in. General Bonner has ordered a search of Derminus because Harry Dumas has escaped. Guards went to escort the former governor for his daily lashing when guards discovered the cell empty. What they found instead was a huge hole. Wait. They locked a man who is infamous for digging huge holes for no reason in a cell where he could actually dig a hole? Another fine leadership moment from the Derminus Militia. General Bonner has ordered all homes to be searched, random questioning of citizens, and all citizens of Derminus to be strip searched. because apparently a grown man can hide inside of a person's clothes. They still have no clue how he escaped. I guess the huge hole in the cell is not a clear enough indication. We will not rest until Harry Dumas is back behind bars where he belongs. Dear listeners, Derminus has turned into pure hell. Over the past month, I have endured more unimaginable indignation than I ever have through the entirety of the apocalypse. People are being beaten on the streets for sport. Arrests are now more commonplace than fleshbag invasions. I don't know if Derminus can survive the oncoming storm. With a relentless and quite honestly stupid administration in place, I have seen our numbers dwindle to under 200. The time has come for me to call it quits. I am hereby announcing my departure from Derminus. I don't know what my future holds, but I have always and will always live my life the only way I know how, dangerously. With everything at risk, I shall step through the luminous green fog and see what awaits me on the other side. As a true news broadcaster, I shall keep notes so that maybe one day I can tell all my friends and fans in Derminus about my journey. For now, this broadcaster must leave. I must depart. Thus begins a new adventure. I don't know where it will take me. I don't know what my future holds. All I know is that it can't be worse than it is here. I bid you all farewell until I return. Into the fog I go. This is Chance Dangers signing off. Remember to live dangerously. Live vicariously. Just live. This is a pre-recorded secret segment to let you know that this episode of Catching Z was brought to you by our unmatched desire for survival. If you're from Otherworld and stumbled upon this podcast, then please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps more people find us. You can also become an honorary member of Derminus by supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/catchingz, or buy one of our t-shirts from shop.spreadshirt.com/catchingz. Man pointing a gun at my head asked me to assure you that these shirts are all made by faithful volunteers. They are not, I repeat, not made at gunpoint. If you're actually from Derminus, then I'm so sorry for your rotten luck. Thanks again, and remember that new podcasts are uploaded on the 1st of every month, assuming we can survive that long. See you next time, hopefully.